Welcome to week 2 of Introduction to Philosophy. This week, we consider the philosophical life. By now, you should all know that philosophy is the Greek word that means love of wisdom. And so, if we are to wonder what a good life is like, we might want to know whether or not it includes wisdom and whether or not it requires us to love it. So by the end of the week, we should have some answers to the question, what's the philosophical life? And the best way for us to think about this is to study the life of Socrates, the father of philosophy. And his life is described to us very, very fascinatingly by his student Plato in Plato's dialogue called the Apology. It also includes time spent analyzing one of Socrates' assumptions about life called intellectualism, so that by the end of this week, you are going to be able to evaluate the challenges connected to the life of Socrates, including this idea of intellectualism. You, of course, are watching this video, which gets you ready for the week, and then you also are taking a look at our agenda. The first thing you should do by Monday is pick up the Plato's Apology and begin reading. As you do it, of course, you should be completing the journal reading questions along the way. You're either noting them in a notebook or you're typing them out or you're doing something to present them to me so that I can see you wrestling with the text. You're also reading the death scene from another dialogue, not the Apology, but the Phaedo, and I've given you instructions on where to find that later, but that's actually where Socrates dies. So that by Wednesday you can begin posting on Socrates' life, death, love of wisdom, and all the things that are connected to that. By Thursday and Friday, then, you should begin studying my written lecture on this idea of intellectualism, what exactly it is, what exactly it means, and how it connects to some of the arguments that Socrates gives, so that by Friday you can begin posting on that intellectualism discussion board. You start posting on that discussion board Friday, and then of course come back over the weekend commenting on your friends' posts, also paying special mention or note to what I am writing as well, because I'll use those discussion boards as a second chance or another chance to sort of instruct you on some key ideas. So it is a shorter week this week than week 1 and week 3 that is coming. So over the weekend, since you've already had your Apology read during the week, I encourage you to open up the second text of Plato called the Republic and begin getting into book 1. If you read some of that over the weekend, you'll be a little bit ahead of your classmates getting ready for week 3. Week 2's readings are short, and that's why I've given you a chance to get started. The reading questions for Republic 1 aren't due, of course, until the end of week 3, so you'll have a head start on that as well. All right, this is the death scene. I've also given you a little comedic video by an old guy named Steve Martin. He actually majored in philosophy, so he knows what he's doing here, but I also instruct you where to find that death scene. The resources, of course, are my written lecture on Plato's Apology and this idea of intellectualism that we will get into. The journal reading questions are in the assignment section, as well as the 2 discussion boards. The first one being on Socrates and the life of philosophy, and the second being on intellectualism. Of course, as always, if you have any questions, please go ahead and reach out to me. My number is still 314-324-1216, and I check my email daily.